Hey you guys, so I want to do another video of another dog that I did, and this dog is kind of similar to the other dog I did, so I don't know, I hope you guys can get a few ideas from it though. And one of the first things that I wanted to talk about is that when I first started with this painting, I didn't like how the dog was posed, and I thought the light was beautiful, so I liked that, but the ears were like sad. So I used Photoshop and actually painted in ears just from my imagination to make the ears stand up a little bit more. So I think that's really important when you're doing a portrait, is to try to capture the personality of the dog. And I don't think the personality of this dog was to be scared and sad. So I just wanted to fix that, so I did that in Photoshop. So that was the first step in laying out this painting. And then, as you can see here, I'm just working on the bottom parts of the dog now. This video picked up kind of after the first wash. I always put in a first wash just to kind of map out where everything is and try to get everything in the right place and make sure all the proportions are right and everything looks correct. So my first wash is just a really light wash to just put in where the eyes, nose, blah blah blah, everything is. So it acts kind of like a map for me to work from. And so then you see me just putting in little dark details. I'm using lamp black, Winsor Newton lamp black. And usually I would say don't use a flat black, but this dog had such dark areas that I just really wanted to get those areas super dark because this is a black dog. And so I chose to use just a straight black in a lot of it, but there is a lot of underpainting of burnt sienna and ultramarine blue in the cooler areas, and you'll probably see me do that throughout this painting. So I am also using my newest brush that I just did a review on. If you guys didn't see that, you might want to go check that out. I really like this new brush that I got. It's from Alvaro Castanet. It's a size 4 mop brush, and it has a really nice point. So even though it holds a lot of water and you can do a lot with it, it's also good for these little detail areas. So as you can see, I'm doing little detail areas, and usually I work a lot more wet and wet, but I'm trying to get used to this brush, so I was working a lot more dry and dry, or drier and dry, but I did moisten the paper before I started each area. And usually the way that I work is I'll moisten like a quarter of the upper left hand corner of the face. I'll moisten that area and then I'll work in that area. And if I did any more, then the other parts of the painting would dry out too fast and I'd have to re-wet it anyway. So I do try to kind of work in areas of the painting one at a time, and do a layer, then do another area, then do another area, do another area, and then go back, so that I do maintain some consistency across the whole dog or the whole animal, because you don't want one, especially when I'm mixing my blacks or mixing a green, you don't want one section of the painting to be this green and another section to be that green. So you do want consistency, but also just because the way the paper dries so fast, you do have to work in sections, or at least that's how I work. The eye of the dog is a lot of burnt sienna, and then I would mix in some lamp black to cool it off. Black is kind of a cooling color, so first I did a warm burnt sienna, and then I went back in with some burnt sienna mixed with lamp black. Now here I wanted to show you how I got that soft ear. What I did is I wet the whole area of the upper left hand corner of that painting, so the background and the ear were wet, and then I would kind of dry it off. I'd sop up the extra puddles, and then I would paint into it with a creamy consistency black in my brush, and then it would just fuzz out a little bit on the edges of the ear, and that created a soft edge. And someone had asked me about how I did the ear like that in one of my other paintings, in fact, the last black dog painting, and that's how I did it. So I just wanted to really demonstrate that in this painting. So that's how I did that, and that can work really well with like long hair cats, especially, to wet the whole area over the fur, over the background, and then paint in the fur and let it wash up into the background. And right now I'm doing another commission of a long hair cat, so I did some video of that technique, so be looking for that very wet and wet technique coming up in one of my next videos. But anyway, I'm just working on little details of the nose here, putting in more dark on top of the dark, because the areas of this dog, many areas of this dog were very dark, so I had to go in several times. The lamp black, when it dries, it's hard to get that first wash perfectly black, dark. Usually you will have to go in and do like another layer of black over that. So just don't expect to be able to do one wash and get your subject dark enough if you're doing a black animal. You're going to have to go in and do several washes probably, and preferably you want to have an underwash of, say, ultramarine blue or a purple or whatever color or hue your animal's fur is. This dog's fur had a lot of cool areas in it, so I used a lot of ultramarine blue underneath, and then he also had some very warm areas in his fur, and there I would use an underwash of burnt sienna. So that really helped establish some tone, and it makes it look more three-dimensional when you get the lights light and the dark dark, and then get your medium tones. So that helps create a painting that looks three-dimensional. Alright you guys, so that's it. I hope that was helpful, and I will be publishing a new video every week, at least, maybe sometimes 2 a week. I'm going to try to at least do 1 a week though. So last week I didn't get any published, so I did 2 videos this week to try to make up for it. So I'm trying to be more consistent and getting a video out to you guys at least once a week. So I hope you guys are enjoying my videos, and if you have any constructive criticism or feedback for what would make my videos better, I would definitely love to hear it. So thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate it. So I hope you guys are having a good week. Bye.